Hey guys, I'm Davey Wavey, creator of the gay erotic website Himeros.tv, and today I'm joined by sex coach Finn Deerhart and my best friend Matthew Thomas. And today we're talking about gay sex, and in particular, morning wood, because the sun isn't the only thing that rises in the morning. Let's get started. Himeros Live is sponsored by Himeros.tv, created by Davey Wavey. Himeros.tv has everything that you love about porn, the models, the cum shots, the fucking, and combines it with authenticity, vulnerability, pleasure, and sexual exploration through explicit erotic videos that are co-created by a team of gay sex experts, all designed to give you the best gay sex of your motherfucking life. It's time to join the gay porn revolution at Himeros.tv. Himeros.tv. It's like porn, but better.
Wow. It's getting so good.
Really good at these.
Yeah.
Thank you. I need the validation today.
What happened? What's going on with you?
Well, first, let me just say it is nice to have all of us together.
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel good?
It does. A throuple.
Yeah.
This is my first podcast of 2019, isn't it?
Wow.
Shut up. Is it really?
I don't think I did one in January.
Wow. Yeah, we missed you. When you're not here, it feels like a part of me is missing.
Oh,
There's a hole in my heart that I try to fill with big penises.
Anyway, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
How have you both been, Matt? How have you been? What's going on in your life?
Oh, I've been good. I've been really good. Just, crazy with work and just lots of different stuff, but working on a couple things that are coming to fruition, which is great. So things are good. I'm actually helping a really good friend of mine with this project to feed the homeless. And we're going to be launching an event in New York City on the 23rd. And it's been a lot, but it's been a lot of fun. It's my first time doing anything like this. I've helped her with parts of her project before, but it's been a lot of fun. So I'm excited for it.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So from feeding hungry bellies to feeding hungry holes, we're just doing it all.
Well, only feeding one hole, but yes.
Well, I meant us collectively through this work.
Gotcha.
Yes, I wasn't calling you out.
It's an outreach program.
Right? Finn, you have a new haircut.
Me? I did.
Yeah, I like it.
Thanks.
This is great for people who are listening on the podcast. They really appreciate
the
visual description.
All right.
Finn's rocking the buzz cut.
I'm rocking the buzz, and I put my earring back in. I'm good.
I like it. Well, this is why people need to tune in and see us live.
Totally. So you're going to be in New York the week of the 23rd?
I'll be there. I'll be there that weekend, and I'll also be there the weekend before.
Because I'm going to be there. Yeah, I'm going to be there. We need to.
Oh my God, we have to get together.
Okay.
And please, I mean it. We have to.
I mean it too.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Should I put a meeting request? Should I put a meeting request together?
Are you gonna fly from California to join us?
Fuck no, I'm not. But
that would be really
FaceTime me.
In the polar vortex.
Yeah.
I'm only going shopping this week because I don't even have adequate clothing for that kind of cold. The West Coast cold is very different. So anyway.
But by then it'll be in the 40s or the 50s. It won't be that.
Oh yeah, it's just 40. It's 40 degrees.
So gentlemen.
Yes. Oh.
Just to rein us back in.
Exactly.
Bring us back. Finn and I actually, was that yesterday? We did an interview with PBS. They have a radio station, and I think they do a gay hour. And it was a great interview. It was a lot of fun. I think Finn sounded very professional, and we sounded like we were on our shit despite the reality of the situation. But we weren't allowed to say, because it's aired over the radio, we weren't allowed to say the word cock.
Mm-hmm.
Or a lot of other things. But do you know how hard it is? No pun intended, but do you know how hard it is to not say cock for an hour?
Or not say the F word.
I never use that word.
Cock or F word?
I never use the word cock. Never.
Really? How do you describe it?
I'd probably say dick. I'd never say cock.
Oh, okay. Well, you also, I think dick was like also like not necessarily allowed.
Oh.
Yeah, we were encouraged to say penis, and I just don't say that unless I'm talking about syphilis or something.
Yeah, a penis is what your doctor examines. Like a cock is what you put up your butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very refreshing to be able to say cock. So cock. I guess I'm just lucky because like Matt, you have a professional environment that you also work in. Like my professional and personal lives are pretty much the same. Like I don't have to put on like a anything. So there's only one flavor of this that you get. And I think I've lost the ability to rein myself in when needed.
You did fine.
What do you mean?
You sounded so good. I mean, I actually was really appreciating hearing you speak on multiple questions. I almost cussed, but then I like caught it in time. It's like when you talk to your mom. It's like I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of censorship, I might be having a heart attack right now as I'm like trying to process. It's just like this ongoing battle with YouTube. So I sent a link to you guys to watch this week's YouTube documentary. It's about Calvin Banks. He's a Cocky Boys exclusive porn star that we filmed in Joshua Tree. Right. If you've been listening, you know this is the 4th out of 4 documentaries that we filmed out there. So this is like the final one. And it's just been this like ongoing battle about like these are educational films and we've blurred out all the sex, but like between them being age restricted and like just all these ongoing issues with YouTube. Well, Calvin's video, which his story is a particularly interesting one where he talks about child sexual abuse and how it's impacted his life and porn and sex and his relationships. Anyway, I got a notice this morning that the video has been, I believe the term was locked. They said it was locked on YouTube because this is a new one for me. They said I used misleading tags in the video description. And for people that are unfamiliar with it, when you upload a video, you can type in different tags that tell the algorithm like what this video is about. So the tags that I used 7 of them, were Himeros.tv, Davey Wavey, Calvin Banks, gay porn, which is what we were talking about, gay sex, which is what we were showing, and then porn, and then sex. Those were the 7 like there's nothing misleading about that. Right. And I was like, fuck, like you can appeal it. So I appealed it and I sent a notice to my YouTube manager. But I just like I hate YouTube. I hate what it's become. It's just like I was thinking about it today when I got the notice and I was like, do you remember when the internet used to be fun? Do you like when was the last time you had fun? Like when was the last time that like you logged on to something and like the internet made you feel good? Or the last time that you like logged on to like Instagram and like the internet gave you hope, right? Or like that you went on Facebook and you felt free. And I was just like, it was like frustrating and it was sad. Like I remember as a kid, like using the internet to connect with a community of people and I felt like I wasn't alone and it was exciting and there was support and I found other people who were as weird as I am. And now it's just like, like Tumblr censored. We can't find porn on Tumblr. Right. YouTube is actively fighting any sort of sex positive content. Google fucking like censors search results. You can do like the autocomplete when you type stuff into Google. The word orgasm is blocked by autocomplete. You know what's not blocked? Typing in the word gun. And the first thing that comes up is gun broker. Right. So tell me how the ability to buy a gun is safer than people fucking having orgasms. I know. Like it definitely has economic implications. Yeah. Well, yeah. Like who's paying? Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. I don't understand. It seems like a spike lately too in all of this, like an accelerated spike around censorship. I don't understand. particularly around like sex censorship.
Yeah.
And I get that there's like ad revenue that Google is worried about, and so they want everything to be as like brand friendly as possible.
Totally.
But like, I don't know. It's just like fuck them for like using their power in a way that causes the rest of us to have to suffer from it. And it's disproportionately affecting queer people, marginalized people. Like, it's just, I don't, because they're sucking from like the corporate cock. Like the rest of us have to, like, some queer kid that has been sexually abused can't watch a video about Calvin and his experience and realize that he's not alone, because YouTube's, blowing fucking Johnson's dick. Like, it better be some good fucking dick.
It's super hypocritical. Yeah, it's so hypocritical. I think I hate it too.
Yeah, it's
like, what's on the altar? Like, what's the deity of these people that are serving? It's not truth. It's not like our real experiences. And like you're saying, that this video of Calvin, I thought was so beautiful, and really enjoyed listening to him share about his experience, and to have that blocked over, what can make the common denominator.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
It is. I've told you, I've had events here in the Bay blocked on Facebook from ads that were workshops that are all about communication and dealing with the love-lust split. And I repealed it multiple times, and they just won't post my ads. And I'm like, these are not sex parties. These are just like guys getting together, talking about issues and connecting about their experiences. And they're like, yeah, well, we can't really do that. And I'm just like, what are you talking about?
It's really frustrating. Hopefully by the time that folks are hearing this podcast, I mean, I appealed it, and hopefully it's been reinstated and you guys can watch it, but no promises. I don't know. Matt, did you get a chance to see it?
To see the video?
The YouTube documentary with Calvin.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. As you started talking about guns, I just went on YouTube and I just started to Google. I started looking up different things like how to shoot a gun, or guns, and gay sex, and the things that are popping up are just, I'm just blown away by all of this. You make a very good point, and it really is sad. We're not addressing the real problems. I mean, your video, it's funny because the moment that you sent it to me, I was in the car and I was sitting at the toll, and I pulled up your video, and just as I was getting ready to write you back, I can't open it. It doesn't work. It said video unavailable. When I clicked on the link, you sent me the right one. And you telling me now that the video was actually blocked, I'm just like, given the content, I'm blown away by why that happened. In no way should your video have been flagged for any particular reason. There was nothing wrong with the content. There was nothing that was said that was inappropriate. I think it's a good story for everyone to hear. And it gives you insight into porn and the porn world from a point of view that I don't think any of us really get to understand or know anything about. And it's a shame that they're trying to silence what you're putting out there, which is nothing but positive.
Yeah, and I think, like, I don't even think that it's a person that's specifically doing this. Like, I don't think that there's like someone at YouTube that's specifically targeting gay sex or sex positive content. Like, I think it's all just AI and like algorithms that are making these determinations that like are affecting our content. So
I guess, but then you have things like butt plug at airport security. It's a picture of a guy with his mouth wide open, bent over. And you have like, this stuff, like, and you actually have things on here that say gay sex, and it's three guys in a bed together, just in their underwear. One of the guys is about to take his underwear off. Like, that's the thumbnail. So why your video is getting flagged, I don't understand. There's just one teaching more about gay sex positions for awkward straight guys. He has 2.5 million views, and it's guys in their underwear in different sex positions. And it's like, this stuff isn't flagged, not that necessarily should be, but your video is not nearly as racy as this picture or the title of what it is that your content is about, but yet yours is taken down. It's not good enough that there's just some algorithm of somebody who dislikes a video and they remove it. If that's the initial thing they do, fine, but that doesn't mean that you should have to appeal it. Somebody else should then be looking at the things that are being flagged a lot more quickly, because how soon are you going to hear from them at this point?
Oh, it's been like 6 hours since it's been locked, and I'm just like,
that's money in your pocket. To be honest, that's not fair either. I mean, you are running a business. Not that that's the most important thing about this, but still, that's money. That's money that could be in your pocket for people clicking on it.
right, like the responsibility is on me now to appeal this and to explain why this video is appropriate for people to watch. And I'm just
and
fucking sick of it.
beyond the economics of it too, isn't it connected to like a personal, it's like personal, it's an affront to what you stand for, what we like believe in, and even just like our capacity to claim pleasure for ourselves. I mean, it's like a shame thing. If our culture really honored pleasure truly, instead of compartmentalizing it and then like acting like it didn't exist and then exploding, how it does, then I think that it would be a priority for people to have access to information and everything about sex, but it's not that way.
It just feels like we're like, with this administration, we're like under fire as queer people, like that this platform on which most of my content is hosted, that's run by Google, is like putting us under fire. It's just like, I'm fucking exhausted and sick of it. And this fucking like bullshit. I just like, I just like wanted to cry today. I was just like, I'm so sick of constantly like fighting this battle and sending another fucking email to my contact at YouTube explaining the importance of sex positive content for gay and bisexual men. Just want to be like, like I just want to do subject line, fuck you.
Well, here's what I know, not to silver lining any of this, because I know that that's not what's needed, but I am grateful that you're in a position to where you can make those sorts of calls and those kinds of emails, and that you are disseminating information,
Well, that's the other thing. What if I wasn't? What if I didn't have a million subscribers and I was creating really awesome queer content and didn't have the contacts at YouTube to appeal this shit? Like I would just completely be censored and shut up and have no. Yeah.
Well, you know what's crazy is, as I just decided to go on YouTube and I typed in killing people.
Girl, someone's gonna show up at your house.
I know, stop it.
But this stuff that is here is absolutely crazy.
Oh my god,
stuff does not belong on here.
Oh my god,
and your video is flagged. Okay, and then you have to then prove, and you have to make an argument for why there's nothing wrong with your content. You did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, listen, that's not why we're here today, right?
Yeah,
partially it is.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, even making this content is really, it's like pushing boundaries for people.
Yeah, my mom was like, well, honey, like, why don't you just make your own YouTube? And I was like, well, I kind of did. It's called Himeros.tv, and like, they can't censor that shit. So, we can put the content that we want there. But the reality is, like, there's a lot more people on YouTube, and I don't want all of my content behind a paywall. Like, I think Calvin's story, his documentary, is something that people need to see, and that the masses need to have access to.
Totally.
So anyway, speaking of Himeros.tv, deep breath, center myself.
Virtual hugs.
Today's video is titled Morning Wood, and it features Dalton Briggs. So we all know, I have little notes here. We all know that our most reliable boner of the day is in the morning.
I wondered about that. I was like,
is that not true for you?
I don't think so. I mean, it comes and goes. Sometimes it's like that, but sometimes it's like middle of the day is my best.
Is that your most reliable boner? Yeah. You get a lunchtime boner?
I do. Yeah.
Oh. What about you, Matt?
I'm definitely afternoon or evening.
Oh, see.
Probably better than the morning.
Really? Like you get a reliable boner every evening, like on the dot at like 6 o'clock?
Hell yeah. I mean, let me not get into it, but yes.
Get into it.
No.
Get into it. What time is it now? Is it 6? Are you having your boner now?
Sometimes you get yourself into a routine, and it's like after a long day, I get to my hotel room, I take a shower, and I'm just like, oh, you know what? Why don't I just do this real quick before I figure out what I want to do for dinner or whatever.
I can tell you're getting uncomfortable because I can hear you banging the desk with your hand as you're talking.
And I saw your face and I was like, oh my God, I tapped. Like, let me stop.
So your dick just gets hard when you get off of work?
No, like, like sometimes like when you have to pee, like you hear water and then it's like, oh my God, I really have to pee. Like when I walk into my hotel room and I get settled, I'm like, I'm by myself. I really want to jerk off now.
Oh, jerk off. Okay, so that's different too. Like that's like a jerk off like.
But I
habit.
do kind of but I do get like aroused. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I legitimately do. Like it just like is like a trigger. I don't know.
I'm like trying to deny your experience. No. I'm like, it's not true.
It's not true. You're trying to YouTube him.
Yeah. Well, mine is for sure. Like I wake up every morning hard.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
is that not a thing?
It
is.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm just saying, I don't know if I could say for me that it's like the most reliable boner of my day. Like for me, the most reliable boners for me are, and that could be totally psychological. Like in the morning, I wake up, I got shit to do. I'm sometimes need to be in a hustle. I don't have the state of mind that feels really like expanded. Mid-afternoon, I take a break for all that shit, and I feel like I have more capacity, and I'm definitely hard in the afternoon. And then at nighttime, it's like sometimes.
I feel like maybe you aren't just tuning into the boner that you have when you first wake up, because you're kind of like coming in and out of dream states. And it's like, here's what we're going to do. This is your homework tomorrow. Okay. So next week, same time, same place. For the next week, pay attention to what happens immediately as you wake up, because you're probably harder than you think.
I'm going to try it. And you know what? Tonight I'm sleeping by myself because my partner is away. So I will have time tomorrow morning to see what happens and what I wake up with.
They say that there's like a couple theories for this, by the way. Dr. Davey here says that hormonal levels are highest after the REM sleep stage, rapid eye movement. Others say that the morning wood boner is the most reliable because you're relaxed in the morning, like as you wake up from sleep, and being relaxed is oftentimes a aphrodisiac for your arousal, for your boner.
Yeah.
So that's the running theory. Anyway, the point is, boners in the morning. This video takes the viewer through a guided masturbation. So it's like you're laying in bed in the morning, and you guys can watch a free preview of this, by the way, at himeros.tv / oh no, nothing, just himeros.tv. Click the enter button. It's right there. And the idea is like in our lives, we wake up, you grab the phone, you get up, you think about what you need to do. Our attention is outward. What are we going to do? Like it's going like this, thinking about other people, thinking about the world around us. This video is an invitation to turn that attention inward and become aware of your body and the delicious sensations. So it has a lot of rubbing, stretching, and breathing, and so on. And then it ends in this really like yummy ejaculation. So it all begs the question: when you can start your day with an ecstatic, hot jerk-off session, really, who needs a cup of coffee?
See, but I just want to go back to sleep after that.
And I want both coffee and I'm not, these are not mutually exclusive.
Man, you all are so difficult.
Here's my question. When you filmed this, did Dalton just wake up from sleep?
Exactly.
Is that important?
Look at that, Fred.
Rest the case.
Look at that, Fred.
Was that boner a mid-afternoon boner, or was that when he first woke up?
Well, he was demonstrating the technique, not necessarily
I know.
Not necessarily the time of day.
And he did look so cute.
It was the afternoon. Yeah, you love Dalton.
I think he's adorable. He's a sweetheart.
He is.
He really is. But it was adorable as he was grinding around on the sheets.
Yeah. It's funny because he has like obviously a gigantic dick, and part of the like video is about rubbing your dick through the sheets, and to me it almost looked fake because there was this like he was pitching this like giant tent in the sheets. And I think if I was watching and like didn't know, I'd be like, okay, they're using like a prop. And then he pulls the sheet back and this like giant dick like pops out. Love it.
I have to say I was more tuned into his butt though. His butt was real cute. And that may not be what he wants to hear, but I do love his butt.
What did you like, Matt? What did you like?
Well, you know I'm a butt man.
You are a butt man.
I'm always a butt man. I'm laughing at you because you're literally like salivating as you're explaining.
Oh
this.
my God.
You totally are, but it's fine. We won't call you out.
I have mixed feelings about it because Dalton to me almost feels like a son. He feels like a child.
Yeah.
Great. So you're salivating over your son. Okay.
I do like incest. I do like a good incest scene. So. Yeah, but I feel more than sexual attraction to Dalton. I feel like a desire to like nurture him and like to hold his head and like to cradle him.
Same here. That's how it's more like, oh, little brother, not the kind of little brother that I fuck.
However, having said that, you thought his butt was really cute.
Exactly.
Conflicted feelings.
And that's why we
All
are
right,
conflicts.
So you still get your cup of coffee in the morning. I try these videos before we talk about it. I haven't had the opportunity yet to do a morning masturbation, but that's also because for me, like once I come, I'm kind of like I can maybe come but like generally like once I had my sexual experience, I'm good for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I don't want to lose that in the morning because I don't know what the day is going to bring. Yeah. Like what if I have some really yummy opportunity at 2:00 in the afternoon and I've already shot my wad.
Totally.
So anyway, great. So any other closing thoughts before we move on to questions?
No. Let's move on to the questions. What do we got this week?
We got 3 juicy questions. If you guys have any questions at home, you can send them to Davey, Davey, at daveywavey.tv. And we'll be happy to answer them in future podcasts. Question number 1. Hey, Davey, Finn, and Matt. I've heard people say that the best way to get over a guy is to get under another guy. But is that really true? Do you recommend finding a new fuck buddy or boyfriend to help deal with the stress and pain of a difficult breakup? I'm alone right now, and I could really use some sort of distraction to help me get through this. That was not a good...
It's different. I mean, it's 2 different things that...
Yes.
2 different tracks. There's the grief track and dealing with your feelings, and it feels really good to give yourself pleasure. That's also its own track. They intersect sometimes, but sometimes it's just, have fun and enjoy that, or maybe tend to yourself in other ways too.
For me, the word that jumped out here was distraction. Right. And it was like, he said, I'm alone right now and I could really use some sort of distraction to help me get through this. And I think if you're thinking about bringing another person to your life as a fuck buddy or a boyfriend, like, I mean, he's recognizing that it's distracting him from maybe the pain and the grief and dealing with whatever has come up in this relationship. And if you're distracted from what's come up, then maybe you're not, you really need to tune into whatever it is to work through it. And it's not to say you can't fuck someone or have a good time, but I always kind of think that if you haven't learned your lesson from a previous relationship, you're probably going to invite another opportunity to learn that in a future relationship.
Yeah. One time in my life, I was in a relationship that, it ended and I was really broken up about it. And it's the one time that I tried to more or less, I guess, fuck my way through it. And I think a year of doing that, I still realized the same problems and issues were still there. Like my advice to him would be, if you want to have fun, but you need to deal with the way that you feel. It's important to deal with it so that way you can move on from it. And the longer that you go on not dealing with it, the more that those issues are going to be there while you're looking for something to occupy your time. But it's important to, of course, in your own time, maybe not right away, but you have to deal with whatever you feel, so that way you can move on.
Yeah, it's almost like not fair to your next partner if you're like dealing with a bunch of shit or not dealing with a bunch of shit that's on your plate, and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna push this over here and I'm gonna hop into another relationship.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
yeah, that's not a good situation. So
yeah, and I will just say, if you're into exploring your emotions, you can explore those difficult feelings in your sexuality as well, and can make space for them in a really profound way. And that also is like can bring you so much pleasure to use the painful feelings in a present kind of way. I mean, it's like a deep practice.
all right, moving on to question number 2. Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
I had a question.
Oh, okay. I just don't have good transitions. I'm not good at that.
No, stop. My question is, because Finn, I think you make a great point. Like, what are some examples or techniques that you know of off mind that someone can do?
Yeah, good question. So, I mean, everyone, practicing BDSM in a way that is mindful, and there's a lot. I think there's a book out there by Dossie Easton called The Radical Ecstasy, and it's about like making space in your sex for painful feelings, and people do sensation play that is fueled by these feelings that they have, and it's just a deep honoring of the truth that we have. So if we mute our feelings in one way, that kind of mutes our whole experience as well. So practicing with someone who is a seasoned or practitioner on BDSM is a good way to get into that, and I've done some of that in my past. It was really amazing. To make some space for that, I recommend reaching out to somebody in that community, like in the kink community.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I go on to the next question? Any other questions?
Radical.
Any other comments?
Good one.
No. Question number 2.
Question number 2. You guys are such a riot. Thanks. I'm curious if each of you could share your favorite part of a guy and why. I love when a guy has V-lines that lead down to his crotch. I could lick them all day. It's like a runway. It's like a runway to his dick. I love it. I think we need to have this person on the podcast.
Seriously.
All right.
Yeah. So like a runway to his penis. The V-lines are sexy. I have to say that I also enjoy that on a guy.
Me too.
Yeah, to lick that.
You said penis.
Did I say penis?
You said penis, and I got triggered.
Oh my god! Look at it. You go on PBS once for an hour, and then your whole fucking life changes. Penis.
I love so much. It's hard to answer that question. I love the back. I know this sounds weird, but the back of a guy's head. I love the ears and the neck. I like the small of the back. I like hands, forearms. I like the V-lines. I love calves, feet.
Well, that wasn't the question. It was, what is your favorite part?
That's my favorite. It depends on the guy.
Girl, you have to pick one, and you have to tell us why you like it.
Okay, I'm going to pass for a moment. I'll come back to it.
Oh my god, it's just like ordering at a restaurant. Start with them, and then I'm going to keep looking at the menu. Yeah. Matt, what do you like?
Definitely that space between the ass and the back.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that little like curve right there. It's like it's like the horizon. It's like it's slowly coming up, and then it's like ass, nothing but ass. There's something about just that space in between to me that is just, it's so sexy.
So are we looking at this from like a profile view, or are we looking straight on?
I'm thinking, in my mind, I imagine someone naked laying on their stomach in bed, and it's like, I'm just seeing it from the side. And I'm just like, oh my God. But then they could be facing you laying on their stomach, and you could just see it. And it's just the waist up to the ass, just that space is like.
Do you like the dimples on it? The butt dimples?
I don't.
Doesn't need them.
I don't know. Don't need them. Just give me just that waist, the waist and the ass, just that space right there. I don't know what, it just turns me on. Like, I'm losing my words right now. It just turns me on.
Yeah, you were hitting your desk again for a minute.
Was I?
Yeah, you were.
I think V lines too. Maybe but if the V line and how it's connected to the hip, I love that little gap, like the little hip.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to be different and say, like, the first thing that comes to mind is the penis. Obviously, I really enjoy penis. But if we're going to inject a little creativity into the conversation, I'm going to say that I like the feet if they're good feet, good feet.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that just means someone that like takes care of their feet, like that. There's like,
so like feet has been your thing as of late, but like for as long as I've known you, like, did you have like when we were in college, did you have a thing for feet and you just didn't want to act on it?
No, and I actually had kind of like a repulsive reaction to it. Like, oh, I'm not into that. I remember when we were in college, I hooked up with this like Navy SEAL and he like worshiped my feet. And I was just like, well, I was like, it's not doing anything for me. And if he wants to do it, that's fine. But it was something that developed a little bit later. I'd say like in the last like 2 years. So I don't know if it's just, I think these things can change like over time, depending on where you're at in life and what's going on. And I don't think I was like as tuned into getting pleasure from other parts of my body, like other than my dick and my ass when I was in college. So yeah, feet.
There you go.
All right. Question. Oh, wait, are we good? Yeah, we're good. We're covered, everyone.
I think so.
Yeah. Finn picked V lines.
I had to pick one, but that was unfair.
Question number 3. I think Davey and I are brothers from another mother. I also don't drink. Yay, sober gays. This person likes caps locks, by the way. Yay, sober gays. That part's in caps. And I really don't enjoy being in bars or clubs. I don't exactly meet a lot of gay men in my everyday life, so I'm a big fan of using Tinder and Scruff and sometimes Grindr, though I'm hairier and tend to have better luck on other apps, I guess meaning Scruff. Here's the deal. Meeting guys through the phone is, in all caps, exhausting. Girl, I hear you. And you deal with so much bullshit. Also, girl, I hear you. I mean, lots and lots of bullshit. Oh, that's also in caps. I also feel like these apps just make me more lonely and judgmental. My question is, do you think these apps are bringing us closer together or actually further apart? Deep philosophical question. I feel like it's both.
Yeah, I feel like it's both too. Yeah, for
sure.
Yeah. Like we're more connected to each other than ever before. And I can pull up my phone here on Grindr and find a guy to chat with like instantaneously. And yet like how alienating, and like I'm still like alone in my living room, like pulling this up and not having real connection. And in some ways, I like some of the content that we made is kind of set in like the 60s and a culture where like people cruised and there was human interaction, and now we've used our devices as a substitution for that. And it's not particularly exciting, but if it wasn't for my phone, I'd probably never have sex. So I hear you, girl.
I agree with you. I think it's both. And I hear extreme opinions about it, and I don't really think that either of the extremes are right. I don't think the apps are the evil problem, and I don't think that they're also the answer to our issues. But I think what you described, like, yeah, you can talk to somebody across the world, but it's not really somebody in your living room that's giving you nurturance. And the problem, I think, with apps is that people aren't really aware what it is that they're wanting. If I want to have a chat with somebody that could potentially lead to something else, and that's all I really expect of it, that could be really awesome. Or if I just, want like a real quick experience, and it's possible to, I know people meet their husband on the apps, but it's like, if you're really wanting an existential experience and you're just sticking to your apps, the likelihood of having that isn't very high. So it's just being clear on what you want. And I think realizing that 40 responses in a message, are not necessarily real possibilities. It's still theory until somebody really connects with you. And, you know, there's an inherent lack of empathy in the apps. You're just like, you know, pictures and do you measure up and this and that. Where even if you're out meeting somebody, you have an attunement with somebody's energy that really excites you, and that leads you into connection. So, yeah, I think just be clear.
What do you think, Matt?
I mean, I agree. I mean, not to piggyback off the both of you, but I think it is a little bit of both. I mean, I know people who have never used apps, and they still, and they've been in relationships, but they still haven't found anyone. And they'll say like, oh, well, the gay community to a large degree makes me feel bad about myself. You don't have to go on an app to feel that way. You can go out to a club and feel that way. Mm-hmm. You could, you know what I mean? So, but then on the flip side, I do think to some degree it's how you're using the app too. Mm-hmm. You know, for me, generally when I use them, for the most part, I wasn't looking for sex. I was looking to actually connect with people and make friends, because I travel for a living. So I was always in a new town, and I was trying to talk to someone who could tell me what in the hell is there to do around here, you know? And
but do you feel like those guys were like actually willing to meet up, or were they just like, and then you say, okay, well, let's meet up and like get dinner, and they're like, oh, well, maybe tomorrow.
Well,
like,
I would say that for me, my experience, a lot of times they would meet up with me. But here's the thing. I didn't live there. I was someone new in town, someone that doesn't pop up on the grid regularly. So for them, it's like, oh, well, he's not from here. What could actually happen? And if anything, like, I chalk it up to one night and I never see him again. Mm-hmm. So I've had better experiences with the apps and from a lot of people that I hear from, because it's the same people looking at each other, you know? So for me, it's like, not to like toot my own horn or anything, but it's like, oh, like,
girl, toot that horn.
Shoot, just a different flavor that ain't normally around here. Like, oh, where'd this guy come from? You know what I mean? Like, so, but I get it. I mean, he didn't mention Instagram, or, I mean, Instagram, you can go on there and very quickly be like, really? Like, sometimes I feel like I don't fit in whenever I go on there and I look. I can go to a club though, and I can feel that way and feel like I don't fit in. So I don't know. I think that the internet and the apps are a gift and a curse, and you just have to be mindful of how you're using it, and tune out those things that don't work for you.
I think you could enlarge this question to, like, in a more general way, not just the gay community, but like us as people. You look at the way people use Facebook and social media and fucking, like, you know, Donald Trump and people's opinions. It's just like, it just feels like it's served in a lot of ways to just push everyone like further away into their own corners. And like, we're all kind of now further away on separate sides of the room, as opposed to acknowledging each other and talking to each other as human beings.
What's crazy is so many of us agree on these points, but we don't do anything about it. Like, I have a friend of mine that does not have Instagram or Facebook, doesn't use any sort of dating apps. And she was new in town and looking to meet people. And I was telling her different things to do, and she was like, no, I don't want to do that. So she went on meetup.com and she joined a meetup group. And within 2 weeks, she had like 8 or 9 friends. And yet, for me, I remember at the time hearing that, like, wait, like, who does that? Like, you're going out and you're just meeting up with a group of people to like do what exactly? But yet on the flip side, I would go online, I'd use the apps and go out and hook up with someone. And that seemed normal to me. Right. And thinking about it now, it's just like, wow, like, if we really feel miserable with some of these apps, or we don't like it, or we're tired of the same thing, well, how come we're not doing something different? Is it just that it's not bad enough? I don't know.
Or in a more general sense, not like what I was saying about Facebook. If we feel like it's really dividing us, like, what are we doing to reach out and like connect with people who think differently than we do, and like to see the humanity in them?
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm doing my part. I fucked a Trump supporter.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a really cool.
You.
The Trump supporters really need it. It's a need.
He needed to be fucked. I was like, I'm fucking you. You're not fucking me because I am being fucked for 2 years so far by the Donald Trump presidency.
Is he actually a Trump supporter? Or is that his parents are a Trump supporter?
Girl, you met him.
Yeah, you talked about him before, I think.
Stop it.
He's kidding to death.
Yeah.
About the app thing, there's a cool book called Modern Romance that was written by a comedian. I can't remember his name, but also in connection with the social scientist named Eric Kleinberg. And it's all about this very phenomenon, how we think we have all these options. And they like interview all these people that are on dates that are using apps. And some people will like meet up for a date with somebody and then they'll like excuse themselves to go to the bathroom. And in the bathroom, they're like swiping and finding potential next dates because they can't really drop in, and it's just like this, like they call it the paradox of choice, where it's like we think we just have a million options because look at all these pictures and options, and they're not one of those options is a realistic connection until you do spend ground time with somebody and build a connection, because it's not something that just falls in your lap. So I just suggest to guys that come to me, go out and like do things with people, like just go for yourself, do something that makes you happy. And often people are surprised when they meet somebody in a really random way that can be a cool serendipitous connection. It's just like, whoa, what a magical connection that turned into fun sex or whatever, just because you get to like moderate the experience. You get to like feel their energy, really, build something from the ground.
I know this is crazy.
Okay.
Okay. I was just gonna say, here's what's crazy is that even before Tinder and Grindr and Bumble or whatever the fuck people use, people still found ways to have sex.
Yeah.
And meet each other and go on dates. So they always find a way. It's like Jurassic Park. They thought like having all female dinosaurs would prevent them from giving birth, but it always finds a way. Do you remember that scene? It finds a way.
Yeah. I just think I'm one of those people I'm one of those people that always says hello. Like when someone walks by me, if I'm in a store, if I just catch eyes with someone, I never look away. I always say hello. And I've gotten to some of the most funny and random conversations with people just by acknowledging that someone is in the same room as me. Not doing any more than that. And I would challenge people just to do a better job of doing that. Like, acknowledge people around you. And it actually annoys some of my friends. They're always like, Matthew, why are you saying hello to them? You don't know them. And I'm like, they're just there. Like, why can't I just say hello? What's the problem? Like maybe we as people need to be a little bit more friendly and take that first step. And maybe then somebody else will talk to us. I don't know.
You've told me that in situations where it's like a majority non-Black population that when another like Black person sees you, they say hi to you.
Yeah. I have a different opinion on that, but that's fine. That's conversation for another time.
What's your opinion on that?
No. It's not really mine. It's more of like, it's a funny thing that my dad always would say. My dad would just joke and be like, I don't know why they're saying hi to me. I'm like, Dad, they're saying hi to you because you're another Black person and they're not used to seeing Black people around here. And he's like, well, I don't know them. I'm not saying hi to them. And it's just the way that he says it is really funny, but he doesn't mean it. He doesn't actually mean it. It was a joke. It didn't really fit in this conversation, but yeah.
Yeah. So acknowledge other human beings. What a radical. That's my takeaway. Guess what? I'm having a evening erection, afternoon wood.
Are you right now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
What are you going to do with it?
It's not my most reliable erection of the day, but it's it's there nonetheless.
Wow. I want to know what set it off.
It's Matt keep bumping his desk.
I didn't bump my desk.
Those thumps in my ears that I just can't contain myself.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, next week you guys should join us. We're talking about a video titled Light Me Up, which is really fun and abstract and creative. Finn, where can people find more of you?
finndeerhart.com. FINNDERHART.
And Matt, people can find you here.
Yep, next week.
Yes.
Next Thursday.
Thanks so much for listening. And as always, more to come.